another level. I'm on another level. I'm on another level. I'm on another level. I'm on another level.
Welcome back, y'all. This is part 2 of a major episode. If you're seeing this for the first time,
stop.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Do not keep going. Go back to part 1 of this episode. I can't be selfish.
You got to.
Y'all have to catch what y'all just missed last week. This is part 2. Now, for everybody who keeping up with us, you're welcome. We back. And as promised, Dewane is going to keep going, y'all. Let me just introduce everybody, y'all. Y'all still back with the number 1 Next Level Living podcast. I'm talking about your favorite podcast.
Facts.
It's ranked number 1 podcast amongst anybody who like podcasts. Like what? like this is what I'm talking about. It's next level. Good show. Man, let me introduce my co-host, man. K-Hart, I know you feeling good, but how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man.
Are you?
Funny.
Girl, what you mean, girl? Jay, how you feeling, man?
Man, excited, man. Ready for part 2 with Dewane, man.
sure.
D, how you feeling, Brody?
Man, I'm feeling incredible.
Yes, sir.
And Jay, at the end of our last podcast, you gave me you said that he might need to help me with something. What did you mean by that?
So one thing, man, you are probably one of the most, talented individuals ever. And so I just know the value that Dewane has added to my life. And I just believe as he begins to work with you, he's going to help you unlock a whole nother level of greatness.
That's wild, bro. You just disarmed me. You just disarmed me, bro. Do you see my heart? Y'all seen the mask? I just feel like that was very sweet.
Yeah.
And that's real.
You
And
know
let
how
me
to
tell you
take
something.
me down.
Let me tell you something. I've been lobbying for Dewane to move to the A.
Talk me down. Sorry.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
You been waiting on what, bro?
We're going to do this on camera?
I've been lobbying for Dewane to move to the A.
Okay, I see what's
for
happening.
sure.
Oh, yeah. And Crystal. I ain't gonna lie.
I see what's happening.
I'm trying to get the whole. I want all my people I love dearly, this just to be right up
Is
in
that
here.
house that's being built for us down there? We all just gonna live in one space?
I ain't tell you about the 40 acres.
Oh.
You got 40 acres in the A.
Oh, say that.
In the city of Atlanta.
All right.
Man, listen.
In the city. You know, I'm supposed to be like, I live in Atlanta, but you really in Stone Mountain. 40 acres in the city of Atlanta.
Oh, wow.
Yep, we closed.
So this is not Atlanta?
God is good. Let me just say that.
Yeah.
Stone Mountain
Because
is not Atlanta.
Tracy,
Stone Mountain is
Tracy's
not Atlanta.
energy is like family compound.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like all our people, you know what I'm saying, can be there. So we're gonna build our estate, then we're gonna build my folks. Sophie gonna build a crib there. You know what I'm saying? Like all our people, it's just like we here. You know what I'm saying? And so
we need that facility too.
yeah, she on that heavy.
Yeah.
I told her that's
Seriously.
like 4 years from now. She's like right now. So we in that process. But sidebar, but that's my dog, and I'm trying to get him to move to Atlanta for the record.
All right, I see what's happening.
Y'all, honestly, y'all, just in case you just disrespected me and continue to keep listening before going back to episode 1, Dewane is easily one of my favorite people to interview on this entire podcast. This is why I want y'all to go back to part 1.
You got to.
And I didn't. And
You're
I
doing
know
yourself a disservice because you don't understand the depth of this.
And I know that he's dope, but I had no clue just how intricate all of these details were. Bro, you so layered with all of this information. We got so much more to talk about. Where do y'all want to start? Jay, I'll ask you, Chris, whatever. Where do y'all want to start? Because
it was a few things from the last
now.
episode we would talk about on this one.
And
I want to talk about triple mastery, and I want to talk about the elite members and kind of what you do. So I know Dewane is so vital. You know what I'm saying? We have our Next Level Speakers Academy, but we also have our Next Level Speakers Elite program, right? Y'all know Sophie, she is the program coordinator, so she's over that whole elite process. And before people get with Coach Jessica, who helps with the keynote, and Coach Crump that helps with the programming and their message as a whole, they get with Dewane. And so you can kind of let the people know how you service the community in our Next Level Speakers Elite. He speaks at our masterminds, but share with them kind of some of the different things that you take them through when it comes to the DISC assessment.
Yeah, so, Jay spoke to me and was like, listen, man, I want to make sure that I give my people the best experience possible. And he's like, I know what you've done for me, and I need you to do that for my people, man. Like we need to make this happen. So I'm like, listen, man, we're going to do it.
I love it.
And whenever I get with anybody, I want to unpack what's holding them back, what the blind spots are, right? Blind spots are natural, but weaknesses are manufactured. Right?
Whoa.
Oh my God. Oh my God. What did he just?
Oh my God.
That's Jay. Let's go, Jay. And he
felt that thing.
Bro, that's one of them moments. Like, that's a clip. Hello, Instagram. You just heard it. Like, that's 100,000 likes. Like, this is why it's your favorite podcast, Y'all can't find him because he's with Jay. Right. He's over there. This is why. This is my podcast. Bro, what did you just say?
Break that down.
Break that down. So, blind spots are natural, right? For every gift, there's a natural blind. I don't like to use the word weakness, right? But there's a blind spot. There's something that we struggle with. Like Superman got kryptonite. You understand what I'm saying? And so with us, we've been blessed with a gift by God, but there's also that thorn that we got to deal with. And when you ignore the thorn and keep trying to operate in that, you multiply your challenges and your struggles. And then it starts to bleed on other people. And so you can't get out of your own way to be able to be the best version of yourself. Right? So for me, I always ask, like, what would it feel like for you to be seen, for you to be acknowledged, for you to be understood and celebrated for who you truly are instead of who you think you should be.
Right. Or who people want you to be.
Right? Because we're always dealing with those pressures. So I just asked the question, like, where did you get that from?
Right. Whose thoughts are you thinking?
Yeah, like, where did that come from? Let's get to the very first time you thought that thought. And what event created that?
And do you think people really even know who they are, given we're in a manufactured world?
Most people don't. They don't slow down enough.
Right.
Or ask the question. Like, I like to remain in the question.
Right.
Like, let's really get deep. When was the first time that this happened?
Yeah.
And, like we shared in the past episode, everybody's operating from a place where they want to be safe. So everybody has a dominant preference based on a biggest fear. So a person who's a high D, their biggest fear is being taken advantage of. So I know that when I see your assessment and I see that you're a high D, my first question is, well, when was the first time you felt unsafe, unguarded? When was the first time you felt taken advantage of? I don't know when it was, because I need you to tell me your life, but I know that that's the challenge.
Yeah.
A person who's a high I, their biggest fear is rejection.
Ain't I a high I?
Yes.
So my worst fear is rejection.
You know that though, but you
I be
being
forgetting,
funny,
bro. But he ain't broke it down to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all told me what it is, but I haven't heard it from you like this. So breaking it down like makes me see myself. It almost like makes it a mirror for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like a person who's a high I, their biggest fear is being rejected. That's why they embrace everybody. They bring everybody in. You just said they're building a compound, right? Like that's where it comes from. They don't ever want a person to feel like they don't belong.
So does that mean I don't genuinely love everybody?
No, it doesn't mean that. It's that you operate from a place of wanting people to feel appreciated and loved on because you know what it's like not to be.
Got you.
Not to be accepted.
That's true.
Right?
That's true.
Not to be embraced.
Wow. Okay.
A person who's a high S, they're the way they are because their biggest fear is a loss of security. A loss of stability.
Right. Wow.
So they felt unsafe. They felt like there was chaos around them. And a person who's a high C, their biggest fear is criticism. And that's why they're perfectionists. They put all into everything. They want things to be systematic. And so that's where it comes from. So once you understand that a person just wants to be safe, it allows you to create compassion because there's understanding. Oh, I see you. Most people don't want to be seen though. Right. Because they don't want to address and deal with the pain and the trauma and all of those sorts of things. So we get there before we talk about you being a speaker.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Because when you're on a stage, you can't go take somebody somewhere that you can't pull them back from. Right. You have to control and command the stage. And you have to be able to hold space for people.
Right.
We're going to give you the stage. We create the space, but we need you to be able to hold it. Right. So my job is to be able to get in there and allow you to release yourself from bondage.
Because a lot of our speakers, especially like in our Speakers Elite, like they've got powerful and profound stories.
Incredible stories.
You know what I'm saying? But it also stems a lot of times from trauma. And so, or they might, you know what I'm saying, be a certain type of way and you kind of help to guide them. Like, okay, this is the blind spot. okay, you a super high D, but you really not very cautious. You a low C, so you probably out here with a whole bunch of typos and mistakes, or you a super high C, but you need to watch out because maybe you're gonna be so analytical. What they call it, analysis or paralysis.
Paralysis.
Yeah, it's like, okay, you super analytical, but you ain't gonna never execute nothing because you're trying to make everything perfect. You also kind of help them the inner peace healing, but also balance out their personality so they can be effective as
How
speakers.
they need to show up. Because a lot of it's like driving a car with no mirrors, right? And you try to switch lanes and then you crash. Right. So I just want to give you mirrors to see what's happening around you. Right. Because a lot of us are not aware of, because we're running on that script. Right. We're not aware of why we're doing the things we're doing. We're operating on autopilot.
And are you seeing that is unlocking more profound testimonies and actual messages from the speakers? Absolutely,
because once a person feels seen and they feel accepted, like this person ain't judging me, and they still gonna work with me through my beautiful ugly, and we gonna put this together, it gives them a confidence, and you cannot engineer confidence. Like once a person has confidence, they're unstoppable. Wow. So then when they get on the stage and they go talk to Jess and she lets them put it together,
genius, man.
And then they feel the warmth of the village and the community.
Yeah.
Oh, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Do people in Hollywood, like the famous people, do they have access to this? Like, are there people for those people? Like, do they even know this exists? Like,
no, Dewane's only for us.
I'm like,
hey, Jay,
the entertainers don't.
No,
really,
he the best. No, for low key though,
really
he the best kept secret. And I know the conversation we had last night.
Yeah.
I can't wait for that to launch, bro. That's gonna be a game changer.
Yeah. It's gonna get real, man. Jay jokes for anybody who's ever seen Billions. Jay jokes that like I'm like Wendy Rhodes. You know what I'm saying? I'm the Wendy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You're not gotten to that show because of you. You put me on that.
Yeah. So Jay be like, bro, listen, he could be anywhere in the world.
Yeah. Whenever somebody's like, so who's the one? What did you do? I'd be like, have you seen Billions? If they say no, I'd be like, all right, never mind. If they say yes, I'd be like, okay, he's my Wendy. Like he knows how to get here, help me, boom, 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 and with the whole team.
Yeah.
And you helped our team with our last strategic planning meeting kind of understand me a little bit more.
Yeah.
Because they might be looking at me like, well, why Jay do this? And you kind of help them with the triple joint, like to kind of help them understand even who I am as a leader.
Yeah, I think it's important because human behavior, we stick to things that are familiar to us. Mm-hmm. Right? So we will accept what's familiar to us even if it isn't good for us. Mm-hmm. And we will reject what's unfamiliar even if it's the best thing for us. So we're going to look at a difference, something that isn't us, like a negative thing. Yeah. But again, like I said, we want to use those differences to make a difference. It makes us whole and complete as a team. So when we're looking at, okay, because to be real, there's some people on the team that's like, I don't know how to add value. Like, am I even needed here? And they question that. But when we're all transparent about, listen, this is where I'm strong, but this is where I struggle. If you could just help me, then now we create a culture and an environment where we're being philanthropic with God-given gifts without having to ask for it.
Man, y'all, this is a monumental day for the Next Level Speakers Academy and anybody that's interested in being a speaker. It's one thing to do some cool things separately, but when we come together,
no question,
game is over.
You can go fast alone, but you can go far together. You hear what I'm saying? And so for me, I was like, yo, E, for you, what's the next level? Next Level Speaker Academy. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, if I combine with Jeremy, combine with Inky, man, not only you gonna get insight, information, you gonna get integrity, you gonna get character. Like, yo, man, I'm telling y'all, like, y'all ready to go to the next level as a speaker? Let's go.
Yeah, and I'm seeing the results that people in our community got with just me. I'm seeing results with your coaching program. Inky got 16 years of game at a high level, but when we come together, game over.
Voltron.
Let's go.
Hey!
Yeah. Tap in or tap out. Let's get it.
How did you get into this?
Yes.
Is this part of your personality extended into a career?
I would say, I've always had this obsessive, monomaniacal obsession with being better. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? I'm a kid from the Bronx. I grew up in the Bronx, during the crack era, right? So I'm in an environment where there's a lot of violence. Yep. my home life wasn't necessarily the most stable. And so for me, I always put it on my shoulders to like be the one to like do something different and get us out of that. And so that quest just led me to, personal development and being my best self. And so, I took the assessment May 22nd, 2017. But I had already been in coaching. I had already been into this. But once I found that, and it's a way to just easily understand yourself, it was a game changer. So I studied my assessment for at least 2 years before I ever spoke to anybody about it. And because if I don't know myself, then I can't really connect with you. And that's what led me to. And it came from a place of I was going through a really challenging time. When I took the assessment. I took the assessment because I wanted to be better, because I was going through stuff. Yeah. And from there, once I got it, I was like, wow, imagine if everybody had this. Imagine if this was a regular conversation. Because in our community, like therapy and psychology and all that, you looked at as a weirdo. Like, they're like, what are you talking about? But this is the stuff we need to talk about. So that's where it really came from.
What book did you read to where you were able to pronounce the word monomaniacal, whatever you just said here? Because the entire time you've been speaking, this whole last point that you've made, I just wish that I could have been as smart as you. How did you pronounce that correctly? Where did you find that word, and what does it mean?
So, I had old heads on the block. Shout out to Sykes, shout out to Ra, rest in peace. They nicknamed me Smart Guy. Right, like I was a kid that like
smart guy.
So like my punishment was like to go outside. I used to sit in the house and read books. Wow. You know what I'm saying? So like I always went to school. I used to knuckle up. I used to get crazy. I used to stuff I don't want to talk about. But like I always went to school. I always read books. I used to read the dictionary for fun.
For real?
Yeah.
So why didn't you just mentally think that the person that was offending you just wasn't on your level instead of just knocking people out? Like, why did you have to put hands on people knowing that their thought process wasn't as good as you?
He has a point.
I didn't have knowledge of self. Right. I didn't have a level of understanding that like, oh, like you're hurting or you want to be safe. This is why, because my reaction, my level, I'm a high D. Okay. So me getting assertive is me making sure that my environment is safe. So me knocking your head off really ain't about you. It's me like, I want to eliminate a problem.
So tell me this here.
That's crazy.
Kind of break down, we understand the disc. Can you talk about two things, the values and attributes, and then kind of how you train me and the staff on that triple mastery and what that looks like?
Yep. So there are 3 different indices that I use sort of together, right? There's DISC, which answers how questions. How do you prefer to show up in the environment? Then values speaks to our motivators. Why we do what we do. Why are we driven to behave the way that we behave?
Pause. So to give an example, we had one of our team members, when you looked at their values, you know who I'm talking about too. Mm-hmm. You was like, yo, this person's not motivated off of money.
Yep.
So if I told this, he was like, Dewane literally was like, yo, if you tell this person, if you hit these goals, these KPIs, key performance indicators, you'll make an extra $50,000. That don't motivate them. But he was like, but they big on family. So if you hit these numbers, you and your family get a whole vacation at Disney World for a week paid for by the company, that motivates them that much more.
Right. And just think about how much conflict or how much pain is caused by us having the best intentions to do something for somebody and we don't get the reaction we want.
Oh. That's the biggest thing. What you say my biggest thing is acceptance?
Yeah.
Bro, that is the biggest thing for me because I don't care about everything, but what I care about. So if I do that incorrectly, bro, like I wasted my time.
But here's the thing. We've heard about the golden rule, do unto others as you want done to you. Yeah. But the platinum rule is treat people the way they want to be treated.
Oh.
Right? Don't treat me the way you want to be treated because that's not my language.
Hold up.
Right? So treat me how I want to be treated.
Put that on a reel because I need a lot of people to see this.
That's hard.
You understand what I'm saying?
That's hard.
Just say it one time.
One more
very
time.
clearly.
The golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated. Yeah. But the platinum rule is to treat other people how they want to be treated.
That's different.
Right?
That's different.
And that takes time. That takes patience. That takes investment in me really wanting to understand you and wanting to care for you. And once we do that, because again, once a person feels seen and understood, they feel safe.
Yeah.
Now I can give you anything.
So true.
I'm willing to do whatever for you because this is a safe space for me. Yeah. Like sometimes safety isn't in an environment, it's in a person. Like you hear people say, that's my person. I feel safe.
Yeah.
I feel seen.
Yeah.
Right. And for me, I just want to live my life in a way where people give themselves permission to be safe because that unlocks freedom.
Ooh,
so that's just my way of freeing people. It ain't about money because for some people it ain't money. Right. So for Jay was like, I just want to bless people, right? Jay is motivated by competition, by a bag. So he's thinking, wait, I'm gonna get him an extra little $10,000 bonus, so I'm gonna give him like a little $50,000 bonus. I'm like, Jay, that ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
And because I know you, I know that when they don't respond the way you want to, you're gonna get in your feelings.
Yeah. Mucho caliente.
Right? And then that's gonna be a trickle-down effect. So let me show you how to bless that person in the way that they receive blessings.
That's crazy. Cause money don't, that's true. I'm money for me, but acceptance. Yeah. Like you said, acceptance. And that's like the thing, like, dang, it's crazy to see yourself live while you're actually describing this. But the reason why this podcast means so much to me is because I'm doing life with somebody who means that much to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's other people and other opportunities to add value. But when you get to do it with someone who means a lot to you, I get to do it at the same time and show somebody through my energy, through my excitement, through my commitment, how much they mean to me. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that that's what I was doing, but that's why I show up as myself. Like, that's why I get excited to come here. It's because of the people I get to rock with when we do this. That's crazy.
So that's the disc.
So we can see
that's
that.
The value.
And we can see this in the assessment. So we're not guessing. We're not guessing.
And that's why our elite members be calling me. I swear, they be hitting me like, bro, Dewane got all in my head. I promise you, Ed, they be like, Dewane, I'd be like, but did you receive it? They be like, yeah, but that was crazy. But how did he know all that stuff? And I'd be like, well, you know, we got the juice. You know
like,
so on the previous episode, we mentioned how Jeremy has like triple mastery. And I know he brought it up earlier. What can you break down? What does that mean and why? And how does that affect Jeremy overall or people in general?
Right. So again, DISC answers how questions. How do we prefer to show up? Values answers why questions. Why we do what we do. Why are we driven? Why are we motivated? Attributes answers what questions. What are you naturally gifted at? And in what order do you process information in your internal world and in the external world? Right. So there are 6 different, aspects to it, but the internal basically is how we process. Jeremy has something called triple mastery. I have it too. And just for me, I remember the first time I heard it and listen, I had water. I was like, I'm not finna cry in this room. But I had language for something that was really traumatic to me, right? Like I had a speech impediment growing up, and I used to I couldn't really speak much. I was just stutter really bad. And I remember my mother taking me to get evaluated, and I was playing the piano, and they were showing me ink blotches, the little ink blotch joint, and it was asking me questions, and I was just doing everything seamlessly. And I remember them walking out and they were like, ma'am, nothing's wrong with your son. He's just processing information at a much faster rate than he's able to articulate. I was a kid. I was like 5.
Ooh, I'm getting chills.
When I sat in that room and somebody explained triple mastery to me, I was like, oh, I have language to name this thing I've been feeling in my body all of this time. And it's like I was free in that moment. So when I would talk to Jay and he's like, man, this, and then this, I'm like, bro, this is why. So a person with triple mastery, there are some people who process people first. They walk in the room, I can feel your vibe. I know you're unhappy. These 2 people ain't really talking. right? Then there's another person who processes, okay, this is what we need to do right now. Like this is the break glass in case of an emergency person. And then you have a person who has vision. They can see 5 or 10 steps down the road, almost like a chess player. A person with triple mastery processes all 3 of those things at the same time. So usually when we look at a person making a decision, we go, well, did you consider this or did you consider that? Or does this person have sound decision-making skills? A person with triple mastery has considered things that you haven't even thought of.
Right.
Like we have insomnia. We can't sleep. We're up at night thinking of all of these different ways. And a lot of times we can feel shifty to other people because in the moment we'll call it audible. Like, oh, I see this. Right? And so for me, it was important for Jay to understand it and then for it to be expressed to the team. Because as a leader, you need for people to understand where you're coming from because sometimes you don't have time to explain. And they may receive that a certain type of way based on who they are. So once we understand, like, he really is gifted in this way, in the way that his mind works. Now, when he says something, there's trust. And like we said, like we went through last time, trust is the most important factor in any relationship. So even if you question something for a moment, it takes away from what's possible, with a team or with a relationship.
That's deep.
I'm blown away. I'm blown away.
Right. So with that triple mastery, I know the last episode we were talking about when he is getting ready to go on stage and how he does get kind of anxious and in his head because of the triple mastery. What is the process for Jeremy? Like, can you explain what that's like from the 3 different points of view, and then what you kind of do to help get him in that headspace to just do his best on stage?
So one, the very first thing is I get Jeremy to understand that I see him. And I don't just see him, I understand him. Because there's one thing to perspective take. I mean, like, oh, I see that. But if you don't know it, if it isn't you, if you haven't experienced it, then you can't really empathize with me because you don't know what I feel like, right? Jeremy knows I have triple mastery. So when I come, he's like, bro, you just get it.
Yeah.
And it immediately diffuses him. Jeremy's looking at, man, the schedule, like we behind on schedule. We got to get this. Man, are the mics working? I'm watching the questions go through his mind and it's showing up in his energy.
Right.
And then he's like, man, the mic's working. The batteries is dead. What you like? And I'm watching him and then it's like, his homeboys is coming and he trying to greet people. And I'm like, bro, listen, in this moment, I need you to just ground yourself in yourself. All it is, as quiet as it is right now, I need you to have that peace in you. And let's just go do this thing that you need to do. All of the distractions go away. And then he's able to operate at his highest. Because he's in alignment with himself and then what needs to be done.
How did Jeremy find you and who let you go? like you didn't come from nowhere. I don't
think he was ever owned by anybody.
Like who?
I don't think he was ever. No, he doesn't give me the sense that he was ever captured.
Yeah, no.
He a free bird. No, but I mean the prayer line. We connected with the prayer line.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And
shout out to the big homie.
Shout out to the prayer line. ET started it 20-something years ago. Shout out to his cousin, my big bro John Simone.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like John was like, yo, you got to meet my cousin Dewane, and we just kind of linked up and real recognized real. So. We was like 2 peas in the pot instantly. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
The only way our relationship go to another level is till you move to the A.
Right.
Listen,
oh my God.
He gonna keep
Okay.
Wait, what?
Move to Atlanta.
Oh, move to Atlanta. Okay.
My last question. For somebody that resonates with you that may not be a speaker but is a listener and a viewer, and they kind of want to get into like what you're doing, but they never knew that was even something they could do, what would you say is like their first step to becoming a mentor, a coach, or something similar?
The first thing is to get right with self. So the very first question I like to ask people is, what are you pretending not to know?
Bro, how do I answer that? No. I can't get coached by this dude. I need to go back to school. Like what? I'm not even prepared for this question.
We have all the answers within. We know it. So what are you pretending not to know?
Can you imagine him being your teacher in school? I would come to class on time.
I'd have been like, you
I'd be
need to
like,
teach
yo,
K
I'm in
through
Mr.
12.
D's class, bro. D who?
Right?
Why?
Kid is a fool.
Why?
Yeah. Hey, yo.
Hey,
Yo.
So listen. So
we gotta use that.
So because you have to get grounded
Yeah.
and understand self. Right. Because if you have not arrived there yourself, you can't guide somebody to that. And then it's just a process of us going through the questions, right? So get right with self, and then you gotta have you have to have some results. You have to have done something.
I mean, you can't teach what you have, but for somebody that feels
But it's
like
a different version,
right?
right? So it's your version of it.
Yeah.
So somebody else could be a performance coach, organizational psychologist, whatever, but it's not going to look the same way mine is.
Exactly.
The way I look because of my unique makeup. But you're going to be able to touch people in a way that I'm not.
Okay, so get right with self.
So get right with self, right? And then go create something. It could be in business, it could be in life. And when people see that, they feel it. It's energy. It's infectious.
Yeah.
So people look like, man, I want that. Like I see what that is. And then you just give people the process. And you're not going to get the same results. But I can show you what I did and the process that I went through. And it's a process for me, it's discovery. So when people have those aha moments, I'm just guiding you to the point where you discover it for yourself, because it's like teaching a man to fish. I want you to be able to release yourself when you get into these moments. I'm not always going to be there to answer your question.
But so let me share this. Give the folks your Instagram, because you're going to be dropping something real soon. For people who want to really learn this.
So I always get like, man, how do I do what you do? How do I get certified? How do I do that? You can connect with me on really everything, because I don't got no fancy handle. It's just my name, Dewane Mutunga. So that's DeWaneMutunga.
And it's on the screen.
Right,
It's on
it'll be on the
next
screen.
level.
But
Right.
one more time for the people that's listening.
Right. So that's DeWaneMutunga. So you can reach out to me on Twitter, on Instagram, YouTube, whatever it is. And I'm like a real person. Like, I'm not on no goofy time. I'm not gonna play you out. Like, I'm really gonna respond to you. And again, I'm putting something together where I'm gonna show you exactly how I came to, build the business, build the life for myself that I have, so that you can, if you want to be certified or you want to coach or you want to, do this at this level, I'm going to show you exactly what I've done.
So y'all need to tap in with him, whether you want to become certified, whether you want to do it, or whether you want him to work with your company, your organization. Like, he works with major companies, he worked with ours. And really, bro, you was instrumental in being a game changer to my marriage. Like, you helped me understand Tracy more and in more intricate ways than even some counselors could. You told me, like, bro, this is what you got to do to protect her. When you looked at her disc, her values, her attributes, you was like, you got to look out for that. That's alarming. So be insensitive to this right here. Like, this is how you can best love her. So I even took that information, and this made a profound impact on my marriage.
And also how to allow you to receive what she's giving you as a blessing. Because a lot of us don't know how to receive.
Right.
So it's like, hey, Jay, this is how you get out your way and allow her to be a blessing to you.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's different.
Yeah. My God. Appreciate you, bro.
Man.
Love you, bro.
This has been rich, man. Love you too, man. Y'all tap in
Please.
with Dewane on Instagram, and make sure y'all leave a comment, show him some love, and tap in with us next week. Let's get it. The whole origins of our Next Level Speakers Elite program came from people within our academy that said, Jeremy, we need more. Quite frankly, we want more access from you. We want to travel with you. We need help with the marketing, the branding, the website.
I'm so thankful to the Next Level Elite Speaker community for opening up this door. When they say they offer next value and the next level experience, they really do. And so huge thank you to Jeremy and his team for opening up this opportunity to speak here at TEDx in Miami.
So I don't want you all to think that our Next Level Speakers Elite program is just for elite speakers. It's also for those who want an elite level of service. Those people who don't want to waste time,
who have the faith to make that investment in themselves to get to that next level even faster.
Just a month ago, I signed up in January, and I'm on stage in February, and I've never been on stage. It's crazy how you walking in your purpose is helping me walk in my purpose. I'm seeing my vision through y'all, and I want to thank my wife. And she saw something in you, and I never saw you before, but she saw something. She was like, nah, there's something in Jeremy.
When I think about our Speakers Elite community, it's not just the game and the know-how that we're giving you and the services that we're offering you. It's really us and our responsibility to put you in the best light.
I bawled when she cried when she was up on the stage earlier trying to video her on 2 phones, but you guys gave her that voice and have helped her step out. She wouldn't have done this without you guys, so thank you.
Like, it's our responsibility to have you looking so good and so professional that engagements are willing to pay you $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 to speak. This is why we make the investment when it comes to stages. Not only do we put you on stage, but the members of our elite community, I have my photographers taking high quality pictures of you. Our video team is recording your whole speech while you're on stage. Then we mix together a demo speaker's reel for you to put on your website so people can actually see what you do. Like, that's a high level, elite level of service, and I don't know of any other program that's doing all of that at their private masterminds. But this is what it takes to get you paid top dollar.
It's probably one of the realest programs you're gonna ever get into. I've been in the other programs. They trash. I'll tell the truth, they trash. Man, you giving us a chance to practice what God gave us on stage? Yo, man, he said it right. It's priceless.
If I could put, like, in a nutshell, what our Speakers Elite, besides the marketing, the branding, the websites, the stage, and the videos and all of that, it's really a big family.
I came here looking for strategy, and I found a family.
I just feel like I finally have a real family.
So one thing that, members of our community say is, Jeremy, when I join the Elite, are you gonna give me speaking engagements? I can't guarantee that I'm gonna give you speaking engagements, but what I do allow our students to do is to shadow me. This past 6 months, I've had over a dozen different opportunities where members of our Speakers Elite program were able to be on my virtual presentations and literally watch me speak live virtually for hours, snapping, sweating, going hard so they could see what it looks like. Another perk of being a part of our Speakers Elite community is you get to travel with me. So I've had several different speakers travel with me, sometimes in groups of 2, 3, and 4 at different events with me, seeing what it's like moving and shaking, connecting with the people, building relationships, jumping on and off stage. They jump in the driver with me. We go to restaurants and eat. We have a good time. Like, we really are a community and our family. And something I really get excited about is every one of my speaking engagements, I'm intentional about connecting the doctor or the principal or the coordinator or the CEO with the members of our community in case they want to consider booking them in the future. And I've already had several members of our community get other engagements just because of the affiliation with me, and that gets me excited.
And from backstage to front stage to even back of the stage again, we got to see the whole process. We got to experience it right there, the next level experience of understanding what it takes to be a speaker before you even get onto the platform.
I don't want to help just give you game. I want to help put you in the game.
The one thing that I said with Jeremy's course is that the exposure, he showed me there's so much more. So I went from doing okay to now doing $500,000 a year from speaking and writing, and it's been awesome for me thus far.
The Jeremy Anderson Elite Speakers Academy is what you need to enroll for, because you can only be as great as your greatest asset.
I've never been a part of a program like this that is a one-stop shop. I'm talking about EPKs, your website, the curriculum, all the information that you need, templates, everything that you need to take your speaking game to the next level and do what I was able to do in such a short period of time and go full-time as a motivational speaker, doing the thing that I love the most.
So one thing that makes our Next Level Speakers Academy and our Speakers Elite program so interesting is that it's a very diverse group of people. You have some that are currently educators or formerly educators, some in the high school level, some in the collegiate level. We have those who are pastors, we have those who are doctor this, doctor that. Like, we have people who are entrepreneurs, we have people who are engineers. Like, we really have a wide variety of people that say, Jeremy, we need for you to help me take my message, my marketing, and my branding to the next level. And so the only question that we have to ask ourselves now is, am I really ready to go to the next level, and what is it going to take for me to get there?